Hey, got an easy one for you. All I'm doing today is showing you how to cut up some chicken breasts and put them in the freezer so that you can get a portion out whenever you want it and it'll defrost quickly. I took advantage of a sale on good chicken breasts. In this case, I have 3, but maybe you take advantage of a good sale and you have 6, 9, something. Of course, you can freeze the whole package. The problem with that is that when you take it out of the freezer, you need about a day for it to defrost, a day or two, pardon me, and then you have all 3, which may be more than you want to get involved in. It can be really nice to just grab a piece of chicken on the fly that you're going to eat that night out of the freezer, and that's our goal. So, I got some chicken. I got it at a good price. I put it in the freezer. It's been in the freezer for about an hour and a half. Depends on your freezer. You're not trying to get it frozen. You're just trying to get it cold. You're trying to get it to start to freeze so that it's firm. It's going to be way easier to cut in half, and that's what we're trying to do. I'm going to mention that when I'm handling chicken, of course it's raw chicken. Who wants to touch it and who wants to get these germs, the bacteria spread around the kitchen? So the first thing I do is I make sure that my sink is completely cleared out. I can get to the soap very easily to wash my hands, and as I'm washing my hands in the sink and then I'm washing the sink out, it's not splashing onto cups, it's not splashing onto anything, it's kind of well contained. When I pull these chicken breasts out of the container, I'm just going to set this container in that empty sink because that's kind of my unsanitary area, if you will. Erica, just for you, I'm going to try doing this with tongs. I'm not sure if it'll work. That's not how I usually do it. But I want to see if it's possible to do it without having to touch the chicken because I know it's not your favorite. The bottom line is that the reason I froze it a little bit, and this is not frozen solid, it's just enough to keep it firm, is so that I can cut this chicken breast in half. Now, I happen to have a great knife. Thank you, Boston. That was completely successful with tongs. What I have now is 2 thin pieces of chicken. I'm laying them down on a clean cookie sheet. They can be touching, but I'm trying to keep them relatively separated. I'm not going to use the tongs anymore because I don't. I'm just going to try to cut this in half. Of course, I'm going to watch where my fingers are, but you see how easy this is because that chicken is partially frozen. It's not just collapsing on itself. It's easy to cut. If one of the pieces looks wonkier than another, that's fine because you know that sometimes you're going to take it out and cut it up and use it in fajitas or something like that, whereas another time maybe you're going to throw a slice on a grill or make a sandwich. Keep your nice slices for the sandwich and your weird wonky slices for when you're cooking something else. I'm going to cut this last one. It's not as frozen as I would like. Keeping an eye on where my fingers are. Because it wasn't as frozen as I would like, you might see that that didn't go very well. My pieces are pretty darn uneven. That's okay, but nice to know that if it had been frozen just a little bit more, I'd have had better results. Now I need to be careful because my hands need washed, but you see these are sitting on a cookie sheet, just like this. I'm going to put them in the freezer, set a timer for about 2 hours. You don't want to forget. Just set it in there. Set a timer for about 2 hours, and at the end of that 2 hours, you're going to be able to take these right off of this cookie sheet, throw them into a bag or a container, and pull them out. Because they're already frozen, they're not going to stick together. So then you can simply pull out 1, 2, 3 pieces when you need them, set them on a plate to defrost. They're going to defrost very quickly. That's why we cut them in half, so they would defrost so much more quickly. And you can use them for anything that you're cooking. If you want to freeze them whole, you can still do the same thing. Lay them out on a cookie sheet, set the timer for about 2 hours, and then after they're frozen, or at least they've started, they've really done a nice job getting frozen on the outside. Then when you put them in a bag or you put them in a container, they're going to stay separate for you so you can use them. That's it. That's all.